From News Channel 8, this is High School Sports Final.
Hey there, and thanks for joining us for High School Sports Final, a holiday edition, as you can see. I'm your host, Monica McNutt. Lots of scores and highlights to get to, so let's not waste any time. It's holiday time, holiday tournaments and classics, but there were a couple of conference and division games this week before everyone went on Christmas break. Let's go out to Montgomery County. Blair heading over to Potomac to play Churchill. Potomac, Maryland is where we are here. Blair visiting Churchill, who's trying to get their first win. All right, ball movement for the Bulldogs. Eventually, Michael Yazdani at the top of the key. He hits that three. All right, some ball movement now for the Blazers. Jared Williams to Jordan Johnson. Quickly under to Julius Cobb. That's a lay-in. Great passing there. On the other end, Churchill putting up a fight. Henry Najomi found Nathan Gertler for the long three. And then Blair would take over. Yashar Joseph on the pick and roll. Sangare would score with the lay-in and the foul. Blair rebounds nicely after their loss to BCC. They win this one 58-53. Speaking of BCC, Spirit Fingers working as the Barons host Richard Montgomery. Barons moving quick. Ivan Torres stop and pop. Bang, a three ball for Bethesda Chevy Chase BCC as you know them. All right, but it was hard for the Barons to stop the penetration by the Rockets. Nazir Robinson drives down the lane and the no-look down low to Nick Jackson for the nice play. And then we got more from Robinson. This time he drives and kicks. That's Renzo Farfan who hits the jumper. BCC answers though. Livio Caputo drives, not even sure what to call that one other than an old school scoop. Say that 5 times fast. It's not enough as Richard Montgomery comes in and stays undefeated. Look out for the Rockets. They win this one 48-41. A matchup of the private schools across some conferences. Riverdale Baptist taking on O'Connell out of the WCAC. You got the anthem going. All right, to the game we go. Randall Gaskins opening this one up off the tip. Nice pass out of the paint there from Lewis Jungle. Gaskins with the long two. He would cash in early. Riverdale Baptist now rebounding. And Kenny Wormley is going to get the outlet pass. And he's going to push, split the two defenders. He gets the, not quite an easy two, but he gets the layup, right? Nice take there by Wormley. Then on the other end, no basket for O'Connell. Wormley again, sort of cherry picking. We'll give it to him. Easy outlet pass, getting out in front of the pack. But the Knights would have the last laugh. Jamal King here. He's going to take all 3 of these. Nice little jab step action. O'Connell wins this one 65-50. Another matchup at the DMV Tip-Off Classic. Coach is looking on Coach Massenberg of Douglas, that is, and Coach Cole for Clinton Christian. In the first half, off of this rebound, Clinton Christian pushing ahead. Kevin Dorsey score, and that's a +1, folks. The and one call, he'd go to the free throw line. Douglas on the other end, Trevor Johnson here with the cool handle and the pull-up. Knocking that one down. Gets a nice friendly bounce around the rim. Shooter's touch. All right, more Douglas. Johnson is going to push here. Coming up a little bit on the paint here. Comes up short on the floater layup thingy, but that's why you have teammates Zion Cousins in the paint with the putback. Eagles go on to win this one 73-61. Maryland against DC in this one, River Hill and Cardozo. Check out Jaden Martin of the Hawks with a little hesitation. Then he gets to the paint for the lay-in. The hoop and the harm, as they say. He's headed to the free throw line. Now, Cardozo, though, they would have some strong plays of their own. And it starts on the defensive end, getting the steal there. Joshua Green gets the layup after he plucked out of River Hill's pocket there. And then when you get a turnover like that, you have to get back on defense. Look at Mark Desmond, spot up in the corner. Well, Cardozo just slipped. He hits that one. It's a 3 at the buzzer. River Hill beats up on the Clerks 62-47. Our game of the week features a couple of girls teams. Shout out to the ladies. One team this season has gone as expected for that team, and for the other, well, not so much. Paul VI, the top-ranked team, is rolling with 4 straight wins. Meanwhile, St. John's has stumbled out of the gates. A win against the Panthers would certainly boost their record and confidence. To the ladies. Hey, shout out to the ladies. All right, a big WCAC matchup. Paul VI here on the move. Kayla Medor gets the kick out and hits the 3 from the side. Love that shot back in the day. All right, good offensive set for the Panthers here. John Quinay Cole is open. She does get open, and she hits the mid-range jumper. Now here, the Cadets are on the move. When the ball doesn't touch the ground, that normally means it's a good fast break as Sarah Overcash cashes in on that one. Way to work in transition, ladies. All right, but Paul VI would answer. Kayla Medor down court, dishes to Kendall Hunter. Misses that short shot, but there's Raven James. Teamwork making the dream work with the rebound. More from Miss James a little bit later. She would drive, and look at that. Pretty runner and the foul. Paul VI in command, and they win this game against St. John's, 44-37. Time now for our Itility Athlete of the Week. Let's head over to Prince George's County, where youth movement has taken over one team in the WCAC. In fact, the McNamara Mustangs traveled down to Florida for the Cruel Classic and playing well against nationally ranked teams. And it's behind the play of sophomore Jameer Moultrie. The guard scored 23 of his 33 points last weekend against National Christian in the championship in the Cruel Classic. Moultrie is averaging 19+ points a game, and that's a good thing because the WCA schedule is coming up shortly. Moultrie has interest already coming in from the Terps, Florida, and Miami. So congratulations to Jameer Moultrie, our Itility Athlete of the Week. Lots of games to get to, and we're just getting started here on High School Sports Final. Up next, we'll take a look at some of the best games and best plays of the fall season. Plus, our postseason award roundtable is coming up. We'll look at the best coaches, players, and teams this fall. Don't forget, for the latest scores and highlights of featured games, you can log on to hssportsfinal.com.
My name is Ted Daly, the owner of the Silver Spring Gladiators. You are watching High School Sports Final on News Channel 8.
We are the Stonewall Jackson Raiders, and this is the High School Sports Final.
Plays of the week are one thing, but what about those big games that meant so much? Big games each and every week, and we decided to narrow them down to just a few. So here's a look. Rarely do you see a matchup between two schools from our area on the big four-letter network. Centerville coming off their state title last season, entering the season as a top-ranked team in the area, hosting Gonzaga, a team with a decent football pedigree. Of course, they have the grandson of former Redskins head coach Richie Pettibon. Gonzaga looking to spoil Centerville's season opener. And the Eagles, they were flying high, especially senior running back Reggie Corbin. Here, Corbin pounds it in for the touchdown. The Gonzaga fans always travel well. They're in TV hype mode. Check them out, all that white and blue. All right, later, Nick Johns here. He also had a great and efficient game. He's going to find Corbin on the wheel route. There it is. We'll get to Corbin in a minute. Centerville loses their opener 31-14. Could they bounce back this week against West Potomac? Now, DeMatha had a big win last week against St. John's. The Stags led by Bo English, but it was Good Counsel that had the best week for football. They beat Gonzaga, which we saw at the beginning of the show. This week, the winners of the last 5 WCAC titles squared off. So that takes us to our game of the night. DeMatha and Good Counsel out in Olney. We'll head over to Olney, like we said, Maryland, where Good Counsel and DeMatha got it on. Good Counsel, Andres Castillo takes the snap, hands it off to Muhammad Ibrahim, who pops through the middle. He breaks a tackle and runs it to the outside. He'd break one more to keep it moving. Castillo here would hand it off, though. Ibrahim, he finds the hole and reaches the ball. That's a touchdown. Goal line for 6. Look who it is a little bit later. Ibrahim again, finding another hole, turning the Jets on. He just loves that end zone space, right? He finds the end zone yet again. DeMatha's Bo English, he would take the snap here, a handoff of his own to the 5. He cuts it up the middle and breaks a few tackles for the needed long run. But not enough on this night. Good Counsel wins it and takes a hold of first place in the conference at 21-14. Top-ranked Centerville has had to deal with some injuries this season, causing 2 of their top players to miss some time. Tonight, they play their biggest game since their nationally televised opener, and it's at Westfield. The Bulldogs have shown some grit, winning their last game on a fourth-quarter goal line stand. And that gets us to our game of the night, a pivotal matchup between #1 ranked Centerville and 11th ranked Westfield. A clash of area powers, huge rivalry game. Westfield hosting Centerville. The Wildcats looking to get everything. Taylor Boose involved. He stopped pretty quickly. Boose again. This time he finds more running room, breaks some tackles, and he's in the second level. He gets brought down. The Wildcats rolling though. Joe Farrick back to pass. He's playing long ball on the other end. That's Charles Tutt. He comes down with the touchdown. The Wildcat faithful, they're going crazy. They love plays like that. All right, the Bulldogs scratching their way back in. Mason Scoville to the flat, hits Justin Barrow, short gain there. Then it's Evan Gray. He's taking over, a big boy move, tough to bring down. He's pushed out of bounds. There it is. Then the next play, Scoville scrambles. He finds Barrow again, moving the chains, folks. That's how you do it. Gray finishes it off here, rumbles for the 21-yard score. Westfield wins this one in triple overtime, 42-41. More to come on High School Sports Final. We'll bring in our postseason roundtable to figure out who were the best players on the gridiron, the best coaches, the best teams. Of course, we said the best players. That is coming up. And you have a chance to show us who has the most energetic and spirited high school. Log on to WJLA.com/spirit and tell us why your school is the best. Welcome back to High School Sports Final. It is holiday time. It is the season of giving. So that means in the spirit of giving and holiday cheer, we're handing out some awards here on High School Sports Final. The fall season features some great football moments. Gonzaga and Centerville on ESPN, a very first school title for one Prince George's County school, and in Montgomery County, one of Maryland's oldest schools finally makes it to the playoffs for the first time in school history. We've made a list and we're checking it twice. We're going to skip the naughty and go straight to the nice with our postseason awards. The award for best team, best player, best coach, and best moment. Joining me now is Prince Grimes with the Gazette newspaper, Rhiannon Walker with the Washington Post, and Brian Kapoor of WCAC Insiders. Happy holidays, y'all, and thanks for joining me.
Oh, happy holidays as well.
All right, so we're skipping the naughty, as you heard me say. Did y'all like my rhyme? I like that little rhyme.
You were pretty clever. I'll give you that one.
Thanks, Rhiannon. All right, so let's get straight to it. Let's kick things off, folks. Well, let's talk some best players. Prince, we'll go to you first.
All right, well, first off, I got to go with Amir Fenwick.
Okay.
Defensive tackle, Frederick Douglass of PG. You know, it's really hard to argue with a guy whose defense had 13, you know, running clocks out of 14 games, and he kind of led that. My second guy is Jake Funk, running back, Damascus. Just incredible running back, did a lot, you know, without much in front of him. And Devontae Williams, running back from Bullis. He made some of the most incredible runs I've seen this year. So, you know, I got to go with Devontae, the Matrix.
You covered a lot of Maryland territory there, Prince. We got PG. What's Damascus? That's not Montgomery County. I was about to mess that up. Okay. And Bullis, of course, in the private school realm. So, Rhiannon, who do you have as your 3 kids to watch?
You know, Prince, I was about to say you're a little biased towards Maryland there, aren't you? But I'm gonna go with you, and I'm gonna go with running backs. I'm gonna go Noah Ryman of Tuscarora. They got to their first state championship in the 5A. They lost 22-19 to LC Bird. But think about it. The kid ran for the most yards, most touchdowns, and he finished with 3,040 yards, 47 touchdowns, and of course the team only lost by 3 points. So
There's Ryman's in action on your screen as you talk about this kid in the title game.
I mean, impressive kid. And not only that, they lost their assistant coach, Adam Fortune, and he died in July. So, I mean, the kids were playing with a lot, and you saw that in the postgame. I don't think that I've ever been nearly brought to tears as closely as I was in this particular postgame. They talked about him nonstop throughout the season, and they played for that man, and that was the big thing for them, as well as their fans. So he's my first person I would definitely mention. And, of course, he's committed to Harvard as well, Gatorade Player of the Year for Virginia. So that's not to mention. And also, I'm going to go to Douglas. I'm going to mention somebody who may not have gotten as much notoriety, though. I'm going to go Aaron Johnson. He had 6 interceptions. He was a senior on the team. 2 ACL injuries, though.
Oh, wow.
1 in 2012, 1 in 2013. And he didn't even want to play football this year. He had to be convinced by his defensive coach. And as Prince said, 13 to 14 running clocks in this season. And he was a big part of it. He was definitely an emotional leader. If you were in that locker room, you would have seen him. I mean, he was tearing up in the corner. He was trying to keep it together as much as he possibly could. But just a great overall team. And Amir Fenwick, I mean, if I had to mention somebody else, he'd definitely be up there as well. And then lastly, Will Larson. I'm going to go back to Tuscarora as well. The team was very different when he got injured. He had a calf injury, I believe, in the championship game. And so they didn't really run as much to that side, and it just wasn't nearly as effective. He also played defensive lineman as well. So I would definitely mention somebody on the offensive and defensive side, too.
Outstanding. All right, so you've got us covered in Virginia and Prince George's County. Brian, we're going to the WCAC, I presume?
Well, I tried to mix it up because I'm also with the Northwest Current, so a little DC action there. We'll start off with Devontae Williams, of course, the running back from Bullis, as you guys mentioned. Just an explosive running back. And then got to give the Gatorade to the big ugly, Richie Pettibon, the DC Gatorade Player of the Year. I mean, normally it goes to, the offensive players, the stars, like Monica in basketball back in the day. Usually the awards go to the big stars, but now getting down in the trenches with the guys that make those stars shine, Richie Pettibon gets it for me. And then Abdul Adams, kid from Wilson High, explosive running back, was committed to Eastern Carolina, has decommitted, has Michigan State on him. He's looking to go to a big-time school, probably playing linebacker. And to me, a little bit of an under-the-radar type of guy. There's so much good football in our area, so got to give it to him.
There's Abdul right there. I had fun with him all season. Lots of highlights. He was in lots of highlights indeed. All right, folks. So those are wonderful top 3 players. I think they're all very deserving, very solid selections by you all. We're going to turn the page now to teams. I just want to get one from each of you really quickly, though. Give me your top team this season.
Douglas, PG.
Flat out.
Flat out.
Why is that?
I believe they're the only team in the area to not have lost a game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then not only to be undefeated, but the way they were winning. Scoring 40 points a game, allowing, I don't remember exactly what it is, but maybe somewhere around 5-6 points a game. The defense was incredible, so just dominant all around.
All right, cool. We're going to get our 2 teams from Rhiannon and Brian, but of course, we have to do the TV thing and go to break. Still more as we wrap up with this edition of High School Sports Final. We'll announce our picks for best teams, as we started talking about already in the area, and best coaches. We're back on High School Sports Final with Prince Grimes, Rhiannon Walker, and Brian Kapoor. We've discussed the best players, and we're on the best team right now. We're going to get Rhiannon and Brian's one word flat out, just like Prince did it. Who was your best team, Rhiannon?
I had Douglas. Best team.
Okay, 2 for Douglas. Brian?
You guys had Douglas because they didn't play DeMatha. WCAC strong, baby. Got to go with the Stags.
Nicely done. All right, guys. These teams and these kids certainly wouldn't have been successful without the people guiding the ship. Give me your best coaches. Let's switch it up and start with Brian.
I know it's a WCAC bias, but Keith Gilganis, McNamara head coach, they made the playoffs. Ramar Williams, all-Met, all WCAC quarterback. MVP, in my opinion, perhaps for best player, but Keith Gilganis in 2 years has really elevated that program and has me excited about the potential and depth within that conference and with what he can do at McNamara.
Outstanding. Rhiannon, who you got?
Okay, I'm going back to Douglas. I'm going to go ahead J.C. Pickney. I mean, 12 straight playoff appearances, 3 of 4 in the state championship. The last 3 times around, dominant defense. I mean, for God's sake, what is it? It had 173 points in the playoffs. That's a 2A record right there. And I mean, he got kids to play for him. I mean, similar to the Dallas Cowboys, he had kids running around. They were.
You had to do that.
Of course I did. I mean, but you have those names. You have Quentin Jordan. You have Amir Fenwick, Aaron Johnson. I mean, you have those stars out there, but they all play collectively as one team.
So, Prince, did she steal your thunder? on Coach?
You know,
I'm good at this.
I share the same sentiments. We sound like Douglas fans, but Pinckney, just the first state title for that school, and he's been there 17 years. So you know, congrats to Douglas, but I gotta go with Pinckney.
All right, so there we are. There it is on full screen. The coaches that we think were outstanding this year. As you heard, J.C. Pinckney over at Douglas, Andrew Fields at Blair, and then honorable mention there, Coach Johnson over at Fairmont, Coach Neubiser at Northwest, and that was a thrilling game at M&T Bank Stadium for his squad in the Black Hole. All right, folks, what are we looking forward to next season? Have we thought that far?
I have.
Okay, give me a
Always
team or
looking
coach
ahead.
or player we're looking forward to.
DeMatha was young and they got it done. They got 2 straight already. It'll be interesting to see if the Stags can go for that three-peat.
Three-peat? Okay, we like to hear that. Randy, you got one?
I'm actually going to sound like a WCAC person right now
Okay.
because I'm interested to see what happens with DeMatha as well. I mean, they came back in a game against Gonzaga to go straight to the finals, and of course they beat Gonzaga. I mean, not Gonzaga. They beat Good Counsel, which they had said there's not a rivalry there, but Good Counsel had won 4 years in a row. Well, now it appears there may be a rivalry there. So let's see if they can get 3 in a row.
Something there, Prince. You got somebody?
Yeah, I got something else. That's very interesting because both teams, Good Counsel, DeMatha, very young, so they'll return a lot of those players. Northwest. Can they do it 3 times in a row?
Can they do it 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
All right, well, guests, please enjoy your holidays. Thank you so much for being with us. That was fun. We'll have to do this again when you guys turn the page to some basketball, because you know that is my favorite sport. That's going to do it for this edition of High School Sports Final. Thank you to our guests. Don't forget that you can catch every single highlight and story that you saw tonight on our webpage, hssportsfinal.com, plus updates on games during the week. Like us on Facebook and vote for your play of the week. For all the cast and crew behind the scenes, bringing you the highlights of the games, I'm Monica McNutt. See you again next week, and happy holidays.
There it is.
The pitch.
That's the one I told you. That's dangerous.
Did he get in?
If he put it over,
He got in from the 12-yard line. That is 2014 Maryland State 2A champion. Lift all those weights is to have a chance to hold